Welcome back to Total Extreme Wrestling 9 and welcome back to Glory Road Wrestling. In a weird bit of serendipity, I think is the pronunciation of that word, we have actually come back on the actual day in game that it is in real life. Probably for the one and only time this will ever happen. Now, it's been a couple of days since the last show, and I am doing a tiny little bit of shopping around, just trying to find a couple more people just to finish off the roster. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly cut to a nice little spreadsheet that I have, because I don't know why, I love a spreadsheet. And yeah, you can have a bit of a look at what I'm looking at. All right, so looking at my roster, first thing I did notice after the show is we are very, very face heavy. So we've got 6 faces, but at the moment we have only got 4 heels. As you can see by the nice little color-coded section there, because who doesn't like a nice little visual spreadsheet? I'm such a nerd. I've also managed to set it up with a nice little bit of code so I can put in rough areas of what they are going to be. So the lowest end and the highest end, get a bit of a rough guess of how well they are going to turn out. So for instance, Dean Alexander could be an absolute mess, or he could be potentially one of the best people on our roster right now. Gives me a nice little visual clue on what I'm looking at. But as you can see here, we are looking for 2 more heels. We come back at the end of month 1. It is the 1st of June, and we come back for 2 reasons. Number 1, we have had a couple of contracts that need to be signed from our 2 people we've been looking for. We've got a Solomon Tupu and a Shane Boucher, I think is the pronunciation of that one. What I will do is I am going to quickly show the contract that I have set up. So what I do is I put them on a written, and the reason I do that instead of a handshake is to try and get them to keep asking for pay rises. We'll lock them in for a couple of years at a set wage. So yeah, if their popularity improves, tough tits basically. Yeah, so they're on about £30 a show. We do it for 3 years, and yeah. No bonuses, no travel if I can help it, and yeah, usually about 10% for merchandise. Solomon Tupu is going to go on as a heel. We'll complete his sign-in, and Shane is also going to come on board as a heel. Let me quickly go back to our roster, and I can quickly show you how they look. There he is. Admittedly, should we get some pictures? Yeah, I think we should get some pictures. All right, yeah, there we go. That's much better. Now, they've got some pictures. So here is Shane Boucher. I'm going to go for Boucher. It might be Boucher. I'm going to go for Boucher. Here he is. He's all right across the board. He's 28. He's got fairly, on the high end anyway, okay psychology. Yeah, not so great there. Great resilience. Toughness is not bad, given the fact that it's blue. I'm guessing it's more the high end than it is the low end. And again, for stamina and athleticism, yes, it's in range, but I still think it's the high end because it's green. And that's my thinking. Please, if I'm wrong, don't ever tell me. And here is Solomon. Again, it's all in the greens, so I'm hoping it's more the high end than it is the low end. He's just going to be a heel that just fills out the card. I love the look. He's an angry looking guy, isn't he? But yeah, so that's him. I also wanted to quickly go to the finances to see how we've done for the first. Ow. So because we got that donation of $100,000, we got taxed almost $9,700. So yeah, we've lost almost 13 grand already. We've only had 1 show. Interestingly, we are getting some sponsorship money coming through now. Not a lot. 22 over a month is okay. It's really not. And 15 in the merchandise. And again, that's more than likely somebody that took pity on us and bought a couple of coffees on a stand or something. Who knows? Yeah, so that's where we are right now. Those are our 2 extra people. There was one other thing that I did want to show, and that is just for those people that like the world out there. Yeah, Takaki, no idea the pronunciation. Basically, the owner of New Japan Pro Wrestling has retired, and ownership is up for grabs. Based on the rules, though, can't do anything with that. So, anyway, let's move on. Aim of today's episode is we're going to try and get through as many shows as I possibly can. Ideally, I want to finish out 2025. The first few shows, it is mostly purely about trying to gain popularity, throwing together the best possible athletes I possibly can. So yeah, I will be basically just cutting back as we do the shows, or if there's anything vaguely interesting that happens. All right, welcome back. It is Saturday, 28th of June, so it's been about a month. We have our first show, the very unoriginally named GRW Live in June 25. I've set up 4 matches here. We've got Hide and Seek versus Manny Low. It's a very throwaway match, this one. Hide and Seek stamina is garbage, so it's a very, very short 8-minute match. After that, we've got Adrian Quest and Turbo Floyd. We've then got a 3-way tag match with Shane Butcher, Dean Alexander versus Seth Logan, Anakin Murphy, and Solomon Tupu versus Cody Lane. For our main event, we have got Fred Yeehee and Devon Monroe. Those two had the best ratings. They had 40 ratings each individually last month, so I wanted to see how they do. So anyway, the booking analysis is literally just because we have no announcements and our owner is not involved in any kind of match. That's annoying. I probably got to try and find a way to get him to stop appearing. All right, let's run the show. Let's see how we get on. Match number 1. All right, in a bout that has decent wrestling but very little heat, Hide and Seek defeats Manny Low by 6:04 with a quick cradle. So yeah, I had a better performance for 38. He had a 19. Apparently, it was too short for such an important match. It really wasn't set up as any kind of important match. If we look at that, it was literally just a regular, scripted, quick flash pinfall. That's not an important match. I'm guessing because his rating is like star or something. I think that's probably what's causing it. However, 27 overall, not too shabby. Moving on. In a bout that had good wrestling but not much heat, Quest defeated Turbo Floyd in 9:31 with a pinfall. Quest and Floyd have got great chemistry, and it did show in their performance. Again, too short for such an important match. I will have to double check the product ratings. I think there is this thing in here where the higher they are, the longer they should be performing. But again, that was pretty much the first I can go with Floyd's stamina. Got a 35 though, not too shabby. Moving on. In about that decent wrestling, but not much heat, Boucher and Alexander defeated Logan and Murphy, as well as Tupu and Lane in 14:58 when Alexander submitted Murphy. That match was designed to work the crowd. In terms of in-ring work, Cody Lane was head and shoulders above everybody else. I mean, he had a 37, 26. That makes sense. Butcher and Tupu have started and debuted their gimmicks. One got a rating of very good, one got one of adequate. It's fine. 2 people were off their game. Again, little too short and poorly placed. It's fine. We got a 25. For our main event, though, in about that, great wrestling, but not much heat. Yeehee defeated Monroe in 13:47 by submission with a Koji clutch. Again, too short for such an important match. Again, if we look at the road agent notes, there was nothing in here that said it had to be an important match. So I'm going to be looking at the product ratings and settings after this show. However, that is the first show done. We have got a 35 overall, which I like to think isn't too bad. Finance-wise, we lost £880. Popularity, we have actually moved up. So we've got our first popularity point in the Midwest. And let's move on to show number 2. All right, I haven't done some looking. Silver Age Pro Wrestling does have this section here. So fans expect important matches to be quite lengthy. So it does appear that the more bigger the star is, the longer the match needs to be. We're definitely not there at the moment. So I think what I'm probably going to do in the meantime, given the fact that we've got 1 in popularity and it's not really going to matter, I think I'm going to switch to British sportsmanship. So anything less than 10 minutes cannot achieve world-class scores. They're not going to want dangerous, controversial, or bloody match types. We don't do them. They don't want them to be overbooked. We don't do those. Cinematic, we don't do. Eye candy, we don't do. Mayhem, car crash, hardcore, death matches. We don't really do those either. Short angles, that's fine. We haven't done any angles at all at the moment. We're not really ready for that. It is still attractive to sponsors. So yeah, we are going to apply that. And we are going to make that change. So yeah, it'll take 3 months, but given the fact that we are so tiny at the moment, it's not really going to matter much to us, is it? Now the halfway point in 2025, come back just to have first of all, I wanted to go and have a look at what our finances look like. Secondly, let's go and have a look and see who the so fars of the year is. So yeah, finance wise, again, we are going to kind of ignore that. But yeah, we're going to have a look. 101 in sponsorship money, which isn't too shabby. That should go up now that we've got one in our popularity in the area. So yeah, 217 hopefully by the end of this month. But you only lost £1,000 actually last year. So my thinking is it's probably going to take us about a year to start getting into the black, the green, depending on how you want to look at it, not the red. But yeah, if that's going to be the case, we'll probably lose about 10 grand overall. In theory, we'll still have a positive bank balance by the time we start to make some money. That's quite nice to see. So let's go and have a look. So, male wrestler of the year apparently is Cody Rhodes. Company of the year, WWE. Female tag team of the year is the Kabuki Warriors, who don't have an image. Male tag team is the Young Bucks. Match of the year is Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre defeat LA Knight and Cody Rhodes in SmackDown. Show of the year is WWE Saturday Night's main event, which literally has only just taken place. Can we go and have a look at that? Lots of angles, so many angles. Female young wrestler of the year so far is Azumi. Male is Kazuya Murashima. Might be mispronouncing it. Female veteran is Kana, and male veteran is CM Punk, who, by the look of it, I think unemployed. Oh no, there you go. An exclusive with WWE. Yeah, whatever. We can't get it. Female wrestler of the year is Rebecca Knox. Independent male wrestler of the year is Joe Lyder. And female independent wrestler of the year is La Charachita. Maybe. Okay, that's absolutely fine. And apparently these two have been bonded recently. Not a problem. Yeah, those are the so fars so far. Let's keep moving on. Let's get to the end of July with our third show and the second of the episode. Okay, so we've returned a little bit early. It's only the 8th of July. We've still got another 3 weeks of July to go before the next show. However, I wanted to come back early because the first video is out and we've had a comment. And yeah, I was pronouncing our owner's name slightly incorrectly. It's not Saman, it's Seaman. Yeah, thank you, T. Williams Pro, for that one. I'm sure I'm going to be chuckling like a loon for the rest of the series. We've rolled round to the end of July. We are currently setting up our unoriginally named Live in July event, and we have a pre-show accident or incident. Let's have a look. Fortunately, the ring, has been accidentally sent to the wrong place. You managed to source a replacement at short notice, and the live event can still go ahead. But it's not great quality, so there'll be a small penalty to your overall show rating. How have we sent the ring to the wrong place? Great. Booking meeting isn't going to matter because literally we've got 6 creative energy. We're not doing much with that at all. Locker room incidents. Manny Lowe, Turbo Floyd are hanging out. Lovely stuff. We set Fred Yee up to be the trainer. So he's teaching 7 students. Annoyingly, my character is not one of those, which would be lovely for that. What I might do is, if I go here, let's try and do a little bit of positive meddling, and we will try and get them to be cool with each other. So where is hide and seek on this list? He is not on this list. Okay, so I can't do that. That's fine. We will we'll just do another inspire since I'm on this screen here anyway. Hey, everyone's happy. Lovely stuff. Cool, that's all been done. Let me go and book the show. All right, so the next show is booked. The, again, originally named GRW Live in July 2025. So we have got 4 main event shows and 1 pre-show. So the pre-show is Adrian Quest and Hide and Seek versus Solomon Tupu and Manny Lowe. We're managing to get a 12-minute match out Hide and Seek here, which is, yeah, it's pretty good. For our opener, we've got Sean Logan versus Cody Lane. We then have Monroe versus Turbo Floyd before the pre-main event of Anakin Murphy and Shane Belcher. And then our main event itself, which is Fred Yeehee and Dean Alexander. Of all of those main show ones, that's the one that's just that little bit shorter. But yeah, I'm hoping with the change that we made to the product and the shows lasting a little bit longer, even though we've got the issue with the ring, we should hopefully have a good show. Again, the booking analysis is just the owner, and it's really annoying. So I might just give him the night off every night. Who knows? Anyway, here we go then. Pre-show. In a pre-show bout with great wrestling, not much heat, Question Hide and Seek defeated Tupu and Low in 9 minutes and 47 seconds when Hide and Seek pinned Manny Low. Manny Low was the weak link. He was struggling to keep up with everyone else's in-ring performances. So yeah, Hide and Seek and Quest had in-ring performances of 47, which is pretty good. Tupu had 33 and Manny Low is 22. Once again, bringing up the fact that he may not be long in the company. For our opener then, a bout that's got decent wrestling but not much heat, Lane defeats Logan in 15 minutes and 6 seconds by pinfall. The match is designed to work the crowd. Apparently 15 minutes and 6 seconds is a little too short for an important match. Okay, I would dispute that. Cody Lane had the much better in-ring performance, hence his win. Sean Logan has only got a 21, but it was a work the crowd match, got off to a strong start, and it's a 35. For our second match then, in a bout that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Monroe defeats Turbo Lloyd in 15 minutes 30 seconds by submission. Again, apparently too short. Still going to dispute that every single time. Fairly open when it comes to performance. Monroe got a 34, Lloyd got a 31. Overall rating was a 30, and the match got the crowd a little bit hotter. It's hot and rising. Lovely stuff. Next up, in a decent match, Boucher defeats Anakin Murphy in 15 minutes and 9 seconds by a pinfall. Apparently, Shane Boucher was really off his game, which would probably indicate why he only got a performance of 20 compared to Murphy's 30. But that got a 26. And then we move on to our main event. About that, it's good wrestling, but not much heat. Yeehee defeats Alexander in 14 minutes and 6 seconds by a Koji clutch, designed to tell a specific story, which is one of the requirements for our product. Yeehee's got a 51 rating. Alexander's got a 21, but overall, it got a 39. So if we look at the end, yeah, okay, we already know about that. Even with the lack of decent equipment and the cheaply sourced, probably from a school gymnasium's ring, we got a 34. And weirdly, our best match was actually the pre-show, which I think is the Quest and Hide and Seek one. So maybe we will main event that next week. Okay, on that note, let's move on. Looking at our finances, once again, we've only lost 880 bucks. I love how it's just generic units of currency. Yeah, we lost 880. That's fine. Popularity recap. Have we moved up to 2? We have. Lovely stuff. Ideally, if we can keep going the way that we're going to do, we will get to about 10 before the season finale, which I have set up in April. So we're going to have a season finale. It's not going to be a WrestleMania, just where we started this in May. I thought, yeah, we'll have our season finale after the 12th show in April. All right, so here we are. We are back now for the August show. And I think we need to fire our version of UPS or Amazon or whoever it is that we basically use for our courier. Because unfortunately, some of the equipment you use to run shows has been sent to the wrong place. The live event can still go ahead, but there'll be a small penalty to your overall show rating. So, very much like last month. Great. Booking me in, we have now got 16 creative energy. Ooh, oh, that's actually a little bit higher now. I think he's got slightly better at booking. Don't think we can see that here, but that's fine. Locker room incidents, let's have a look. Boucher and Floyd have been getting on pretty well. Lovely stuff. Floyd again and Yeehee have been hanging out. So, okay. We've had some training drills. I did find Manny Low was irritated last month because of the training drills. He's the only one though. That's fine. And the locker room incidents are all done. We're going to skip over that. And we'll be back once I've booked the show. The show is booked. We've got 4 matches on the card tonight. We open with Logan, Tupu, and Alexander in a freeway. Then we go to Manny Low versus Anakin Murphy. We follow that up with a tag team match, which is Butcher and Monroe versus Yeehee and Turbo Floyd. And as I mentioned, I was going to do in the last month one, we're going to have Adrian Quest versus Hide and Seek. And let's see just how good the two of them are when we put them in a match for the main event. We do have just one person that's not on the card today, Cody Lane. But that's fine, I guess. I could have made it a 4-way, but whatever. All right, here we go. Opener. Let's see how we get on. Again, we're just going to gloss over that. I can't do anything about that. But in a bout that has decent wrestling, but not too much heat, Alexander defeats Logan and Tupu in 14:52 when Alexander beats Tupu. I mean, okay, whatever. Match was designed to work the crowd, which it sort of has done. Got off to a strong start. It's rated 23. We move on. In a bout that has decent wrestling but didn't have much heat, Manny Lowe has defeated Adrian Murphy in 13:59 by a pinfall. That one there, we purposely gave Manny Lowe the win just to try and cheer him up because he's got a bit of a grumpy. Rating 19. Didn't do too well, did it? All right. We then move on in about that good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Butcher and Monroe defeated Yehe and Floyd in 15:09 when Monroe pinned Floyd. Apparently Yehe? I've called him Yehe now. Yehe? I don't know. Whatever his name is. He carried the match in terms of in-ring performance. He had a 51, Monroe had a 34, and then we get a 27 and a 24. However, crowd is now white hot. It's rated 37. We then move on to that main event. I'm hoping this is a 40. It's not. That's very annoying. About that's got great wrestling, not much heat. Quest defeated Hide and Seek in 9 minutes and 56 seconds by submission. Now, I know the user character is Hide and Seek and the idea is to push him, but I'm not an idiot. Let's give Quest the win on this one. They do have good chemistry. It did lift the match, but it's only a 36. However, it should be, I'm thinking 34 once we knock off the lack of equipment. 32. 32 is still good. Looks like we might have had those two the wrong way around, but we'll take it. In terms of popularity, though, we have now moved up another level. We are popularity level 3 in the Midwest, which in theory is better than 2. That's all I can say. So we've reached about halfway through the remaining part of the year that I was going to do. We are on the 1st of September, and the brand new news story is that the WWE have risen in size. They have now hit huge, which is good for them. Good for them. If we look at the finances, yeah, they're not really too bad. They are improving month on month. We got the 376 in sponsorship from last month, but with the bump in popularity that we've received, that should be going up to 476. So we'll only really be losing about 630 next month, which is still fine, given our current bank balance. Lovely stuff. What I have been doing as well is I've been looking at how our wrestlers have been performing month by month. Get a bit of an idea of how their last year is. A little bit too early to say that. How their last 3 months have been, which we can now tell because we've had 4 shows. And just in general, what their overall average is for every match that they've had with us. And we can see that kind of Manny Lowe, his last 3-month average is better with a 1.3 increase compared to where it was. But given the fact that he had a 14 in the very first month, I don't really think that's much that we can do with. In a 19, a 22, looks like we're getting a positive increase, but his last match was a 16. But it does look like Aiden Quest is definitely one that we want to try and maximize as much as possible with his 41 to 46. Looks like Hide and Seek obviously is hitting some good stats. Fred Yeehee is doing quite well, as well as Devon Monroe. So those are the ones that we are probably going to be looking to keep in our main or co-main event spots. So we moved on to the end of September. We have had actually a notification come through saying that the product change that we wanted to do has now taken effect. So hopefully we should get no more dings in our product ratings or not being important enough for the length, or the length being important enough, whatever that term was. I can't remember. That was a while ago now. What I have noticed as well is this happened a couple of months back. Didn't notice it. Yeah, in tragic news, it's been reported that Josh Betham has been killed in a golfing accident. What? I have so many questions. Anyway, enough about that. Let's get on and book the next show. Okay, so we've got the next show set up, our September show. We have got a pre-show with Manny Lowe versus Anakin Murphy, and then we are going to try a promo. Be the first one for the company, and it's going to be Fred Yee with just a promo, just talking about the match and our main event. We then open the show with Dean Alexander versus Hide and Seek. Then we move on to Seth Logan versus Solomon Tupu, Turbo Floyd versus Shane Butcher, Adrian Quest versus Devin Monroe, and then the aforementioned Cody Lane and Fred Yee main event. So let's have a look and see how we get on. All right, in a pre-show bout, it's got decent wrestling, but not much heat. Murphy defeats Manny Lowe in 7 minutes and 12 seconds by pinfall. So, nothing on there. Well, actually, 92 people. Looking at that, that's not bad. But nothing in there about the length of the match being important. So, that's hopefully good. Moving on. So, Yee opens the show with a promo about his upcoming match. It's a 29, which isn't bad, I guess. Sure, why not? Moving on then. Okay, that's a good rating. So, in a bout with great wrestling but not much heat, Hide and Seek has defeated Dean Alexander in 7 minutes, 7 seconds by submission. We got a performance of 50. Alexander's got one of 26. So we're putting in great performances, but we got no stamina. Yeah, we can go, but we can't go for long. After that, we then get a bout with decent wrestling, but again, not much heat. Solomon Tupu defeats Seth Logan in 8 minutes and 40 seconds by a submission. He was off his game. Logan was all right. He wasn't far below it. We get a 25 for that one. We then move on in a decent match. Turbo Floyd defeats Shane Butcher in 9 minutes and 41 seconds by submission. Shane also off his game. Turbo Floyd with a 37 though, and a rating of 34. We then move on to our pre-main event match, which has great wrestling and a decent reaction. Devin Monroe defeats Adrian Quest in 12 minutes and 5 seconds by a pinfall. Close with a 47 and a 33, but with a 44 overall rating. That would have been great as our main event. I'm hoping our main event will top that one. Oh wow, it does indeed. In a bout with superb wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Yee defeats Cody Lane in 10 minutes and 2 seconds by submission with a Koji clutch. It was designed so the wrestlers could go out and steal the show. And steal the show they have with a 52. Yee on his own gets a 54. Cody Lane gets a 42. Lovely stuff. So our end rating is a 48. Lovely, absolutely lovely stuff. I think, where are you, Fred? Fred there, and Cody Lane. Both of you are going to be told you're awesome. He seems pleased. Lovely. So, overall show loss of 877. We should be getting somewhere around 300, maybe 400. We're hopefully going to be doing all right. Hopefully we're growing again. We have. We've now moved up to 4, and we're getting a little bit of spillover in some other areas. That 4, though, is going to mean that next month we're going to get even more money coming through in our sponsorship revenue. So with our show now over and we're moving on to the Sunday afterwards, we did get the news story to say that feedback has been extremely positive. It was apparently a great show from them. That's nice. That's lovely. We'll take that one. Sponsorship, yep, 477, 600 is going to be roughly what we'll lose. Next month, yeah, moving up to 559, which is lovely. What I also did want to show, I will need to move to our office to do so, is we have got a couple of titles set up. Now, I haven't put any of these on anyone yet because I just kind of felt that, there's no real front runners have come to light prior. We'll come to this in a moment. And I just didn't want to put a belt on someone just for the sake of putting a belt on someone. So we have got 3 in place. We've got the Glory Road Championship, which is going to be our main event level 1, which is the original symbol of dominance in Glory Road Wrestling. Belt started as rugged yet prestigious, embodying the company's early days. It stands as the ultimate accolade reserved for the best in the business. So my gut feeling was I was going to try and hold out maybe until the December show before putting the belt on somebody. However, I'm beginning to feel that there might be a contender for it, and maybe we'll be crowning him on the next show. I will say as well, I think given the length of this video, the next show may be the final one of the episode. We've also got a tag championship here. So designed for the finest duos, nice silver tag team badges symbolizing unity and teamwork at the highest level. That one probably not going to be crowned anytime soon. What we need to do is find people that got good chemistry with each other, put them into teams, and then we'll roll that one out. We've also got the Glory Road's Women's Championship as well. Blends elegance with undeniable prestige. At the moment, we've got absolutely no women on our roster, but it's an area where we're probably going to go at some point in the future, and I wanted the belt ready. So what I'm going to do is I am going to sim forward to the next show, which will be the last of the episode. Okay, it is the end of October. We are back for the final show, but before that, we have got a pre-show incident. It is time to find out what piece of equipment has been delivered to the wrong place again. Here we go. Nope, completely wrong. Despite his best efforts to make alternate arrangements, Adrian Quest has been stranded at the airport and will not be able to make it to the show. Luckily, I'm not pre-booking anything. That's fine. Again, we got 20 now. Can't do anything with that. Skip over that one. Okay, here we go. So Fred Yeehee has run some training drills on basics and safeties for 6 students. Nice. Solomon and Shane Boucher have been hanging out a lot recently. Okay, fair enough. And Turbo Lloyd has a creative finish, the first of the series. It's automatically been added to our stored creative ideas. Lovely stuff. Let's get rid of that. I will quickly go and have a look at that creative idea. It is one that can only be applied to him when he is the victor. It is very, very risky. Don't know if we'll use that. But yeah, we'll book the show. We'll be back in a minute. Okay, so here we go. Final show of the episode. We're on the wrong screen because I accidentally clicked the wrong button. I wanted to see the booking analysis and I accidentally clicked the yellow one and started the show. However, live and learn. So we start off with a decent match. Shane Boucher defeated Sean Logan in 9:33 by pinfall. It was designed to work the crowd and get them ready for the rest of the show. Boucher was really off his game. Show got off to a strong start, and they were evenly matched with a 19 and a 21 for a segment rating of 22. We then move on. And about that had decent wrestling, but not a lot of heat. Solomon Tupu defeated Dean Alexander in 9 minutes and 50 seconds by submission. 27 rated, a little bit of difference between the two. Tupu had a better performance of 31 compared to the 22. Crowd are hotter though, doing well. On to match number 3, and we have some good chemistry. In about that had good wrestling, but didn't have much heat. Anakin Murphy defeated Cody Lane in 9 minutes, 38 seconds by pinfall. And we managed to advance the storyline, but it lost a little bit of heat. Just for your records, the storyline has got everybody in it because why not? Cody Lane has a much better in-ring performance of 42 compared to Murphy's 25. However, it has got a 38 rating overall. We then move on to a decent match where Turbo Floyd defeated Manny Lowe in 10 minutes 17 seconds by pinfall. We did try to use that creative finish, however it was a failure. Turbo Floyd got a 37 though, Manny Lowe's got a 15, again highlighting the fact that I don't think he's going to be here much longer. Got a 28 overall. We then move on to this match. So in a bout we had superb wrestling, decent reaction from the crowd. Fred Yeehee defeated Roman Hide and Seek and Devin Monroe in 10 minutes and 18 seconds when he submitted Hide and Seek with a Koji clutch. Match was designed so that wrestlers could go out and steal the show, and Fred does win the Glory Road Championship. Fairly close between Hide and Seek and Yeehee with a 50 and a 44. Devon came in slightly below that with a 37. However, the match itself got a 40. And apparently I was seething because Fred almost injured me with a botched move. That's fine. I'm the booker. I can do something about that. We end the show with a 38 rating. We get extra popularity in one area. Guess where that is? Midwest. We are going to address the locker room. We will have a little bit of a... let's have a look. Yeah, Fred, you could have done better. You almost hurt me. And what's his face? I'm looking, trying to find him. Devon Monroe. We're going to give him some encouragement because he didn't get the pin in the main event. Monroe seems pleased, and that was about it. Cool. At 700 and that, we've managed to pick up, I think, about 500 already. So maybe only about 200 loss at the end of this show. Popularity, did we move up one more time? We did not, but we're probably 4.99 something or other. So that's fairly close. There's no media scrum, and that's it. What we're going to do, we will let it process. We'll be back on the final screen. We'll see you guys in a minute. We're going to wrap this episode up with just a quick look at the finances and then to see if we've managed to hit any targets that will allow us to get some new roles. So finance-wise, 492 down over the month. Yeah, not too shabby. We didn't quite hit the increase on the sponsorship due to the new popularity level, but with a little bit of luck, that's going to come in the next episode. If we go and have a look at the guide to what we can and cannot get roles for, we haven't hit anything. So event card, we didn't get 50. We go and have a look at our top events. We go to the top 100s. We got a 48. So we were close, but we were 2 points short. We also needed to have, we come back to this one, a match grade of 50 or more with our wrestler. And if we just quickly go to hide and seek and we look at his match history, we got a 42. So no additional roles, no additional stats, not in this episode anyway. But however, he's sitting at a 4 and 2, which is not too bad. It's a 60% win ratio. That doesn't sort of look like nepotism at all. Doesn't look I'm trying to push my own character. None of that. But yes, I think we're going to leave the episode there. Thank you very much for watching. I think in the next episode, we're probably going to do a maximum of 4 shows. 3 might be the magic number. We'll play around and we'll try and work out exactly what the magic number is. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you lot next time.